Hello everyone, welcome to Naren's Life with MS. This is Naren and it's time for Sunday check-in. And this Sunday was pretty interesting because one thing that I actually ended up doing was evaluating how certain meditations made me feel, because one thing that I am um, noticing is not all meditations are created equal, obviously, but more than that there are certain things that I do definitely need to work on a little more to be able to appreciate the act of meditating a little more, just so it feels more fulfilling. And as a result of that, I tried quite a few, like the short ones, not anything long. And of course, before I go to sleep, I will be doing another meditation so that I think as of today, I would have done, like today in its entirety, I would have done 4 meditations. And the one thing I do feel, of course, is that it is definitely relaxing in a way, but I do see um, certain imbalances in certain parts of my body, and I actually think that there is a lot more, like a lot more brain involved while meditating. So I don't know if you've probably experienced this, but the last meditation I did, I actually got out of it and feel I feel a small headache, um, right around my temple area, right at, actually not even my temple area, it's more, I'd say, at like my hairline, but it is definitely a headache. So it is a very interesting thing that I experience as a result of just meditating for 15 minutes, or at least it was a 15-minute meditation. So you know uh, now I definitely don't want to say that all meditations feel like that. I mean, there are definitely a lot of um, benefits that I've gained from other meditations, but it is very interesting to note that there might even be immediate reactions to meditating. And that is something that I do want to ask you, that if you do meditate, have you actually had instances where as a result of one meditation you maybe don't feel um as empowered, or a little bit on the higher end? Because this one definitely, I mean, normally, the one thing I would do as a result of a headache would be to just sleep it off. But yeah, I do want to know from you, what would your idea be to how do you evaluate meditations based on how effective they are? And the reason I ask that is because the more I meditate, the more I realize that each meditation provides something that is slightly different. And of course, there is a different sense of going inside, going internal, when you do end up meditating. So, and considering that I am pretty much going to be doing this on a regular basis, and that tomorrow, for tomorrow's second Mindful Monday episode, I do want to share something that you know I actually gained out of this. I definitely want to, even use today's episode to just highlight something that did end up happening, so that tomorrow's episode might actually be a little more insightful, maybe be a little more personal to some of the experiences I've actually had up till now. So, but of course, the one thing that I do want to ask you is, if you've actually meditated, have there been instances where just feel like a slight headache coming on? And it was literally right after, completing that meditation, that suddenly I realized that, oh, my head is hurting. I might feel just a little feverish, but I think it's just temporary. I think, if I do the right thing, I think it will definitely recover itself. So let's see how it goes. And of course, I hope your weekend went very well. I mean, for me today, all I pretty much ended up doing was sleeping and then meditating, sleeping and meditating. I did have a burger, so it was, a better Sunday than normal. And yeah, so there were definitely lots of great things that did end up happening. But with that said, of course, I hope your weekend went very well. This has been Naren Insight with MS. I am Naren, and of course, if you do want to share your own experiences, please do add a comment on the comment section so that we can get the conversation started. And of course, your comment can be thought and insight and experience, so that we can actually learn a little bit more from each other. And with that said, here is me wishing you a good night, sweet dreams. I hope you had a great weekend. And with that said, I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.